morning, everybody. Get that intro over with here. We got a guest here today that I really want to introduce to everybody. How'd you like that intro? For those of you that have a couple of years on you, you guys have heard that song before, and you're going in your head, where have I heard that? That's The Doctor. The Doctor. It's actually The Formula is what that's called. And I just kind of cut and snipped and did some things like I do. So how's everybody doing here today? It is right around the middle of December, and we've got Christmas right around the corner. So this is going to be a special show right before the extravaganza for next week that Randy is putting on, and he is putting a lot of effort into this. He has been literally having no sleep, calling all the tool manufacturers. And boy, I can't even believe how many people are on board with this. It's going to be a huge event. So make sure that you guys get on there, are watching, are definitely proactive with that, because man, it's going to be a huge giveaway. So let me introduce myself. My name is Ian Cordle. I'm also known as the Dentologist, and this is my show here on PDR Interviews Live. So we got a few people here on this morning. We've got Bruce Halverson, James Bernard. How you guys doing? Both guys that I have interviewed in the past. If you haven't seen their interview, make sure you get on the PDR Interviews page and watch those interviews. This show is brought to you by a few sponsors. Of course, PDR Interviews on Facebook, and Mobile Tech Shade, which is simply the best umbrella stand system for outside anything. If you do anything outside, that's what you want to have. And then we've got Dent Man Tools, which is another one that's right up here in the corner in the screen. And that's my friend Jesse Hawes' business, and he has some great quality tools too. So it's Christmas, look up the websites, get on there, buy some stuff. So with that said, I'd like to bring on the next contestant here on the Dentologist Live. And this gentleman, Jeff, I'm probably going to murder his last name here. He'll correct us, but Jeff Krumwiede? I'm close. I know I am, and that's all that matters. But Jeff is he's basically out of Nebraska, and he's a Husker fan. And I know we've got plenty of those in the audience, but good guy, been pushing for a lot of years. So we're going to go ahead and bring him on here. Let's see. He's waiting patiently.
Hello.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
It's early in the morning. I got plenty of rest, but I did wake up a little bit late. So,
that happens.
It's okay. Because I'm here and I'm ready for this interview. I'm excited for it, buddy. I'm excited for it.
It's pretty cold here.
What's the temperature over there?
Right now it's 12.
I thought I was cold here, man. No, that's nothing. That is cold right there. So introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are and where you come from and so forth.
Jeff Krumwiede, live at Nebraska. Been pushing dents for 20 years.
20 years.
Not sure what else you want to.
That's a long time. That's a long time. We had chatted a little bit yesterday, kind of getting you familiar with this program here and how it works. Before I go on here, we've got Kevin Bird in the house. Dude, you should be honored. You should be honored right now, because that guy, Kevin Bird, like so many other technicians, is a hardworking man. But boy, he brings an audience, man. So when he comes on board, that the people are out there watching. So Kevin, good morning, my friend. We had talked a little bit yesterday about kind of your history and who you work for and stuff like that. And you have a lot to do with Dent Smart. You've been with Dent Smart for a while, but you started out with Dent Wizard like so many other technicians have. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Back in 2001.
2001. The year the Twin Towers fell, man. I know it well.
I was in class when it happened, so I'll never
Really?
forget it.
I
Yeah.
was supposed to close escrow literally that day. That was the day that I had, I got my house. We had gone through all the motions, down payment, everything. I was supposed to close escrow and sign the paperwork the day the Twin Towers fell. So yeah, I remember it well. But now Dent Wizard, now you had been hired with them, trained with them. And did you start out doing, right to hail or kind of a combination or what?
No, right when I got out of school back in Omaha, we had a hailstorm that year. So I got right into pushing a little bit of hail. And then the hail dried up and we kind of all separated. And I moved to Toledo, Ohio for a year and did the route for them. And I moved back and got on the hail team and did that for a couple of years. And then I parted ways with them and did a little bit of chasing for a couple different guys and did that for a few more years and got on with Dent Smart in 2010.
Now, who was your main contact there at Dent Smart? Was it David Haxton? Was that your first initial meet or?
No, it was Chad Homelar.
Okay.
He's the franchise owner for the area that I work in. And I met him in 2006 at a hailstorm and we kept in touch and he got me on board in 2010 with Dent Smart after he became the owner.
Wow. So you had been with Dent Wizard for a while before you came on board?
About 2.5, 3 years.
Oh, okay.
And then the rest of it, I worked for a couple different brokers, just chasing all over the country.
Got it. Boy, it's I hear some of the lifestyles that the hail chasers, live, between running for a couple months at a time, living in a unfamiliar area and kind of just pulling in and seeking your roots and getting going. I'm married, got they're not kids anymore, they're young men, but that's got to be hard, even if you are single, even if you don't have a wife and kids waiting for you at home. What do you say? Some people, honestly, I've talked to them and they're like, dude, I live for it. I love it. I love the fact of going to another state, of picking up and rooting, somewhere else. Is it kind of your game, man? Is that how you feel about it?
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't probably want to do it again. I mean, I've seen most of the country, which was cool. It's tough on relationships being on the road like that. I mean, when you're 25 hours from home, you got to be there for a while, so you don't get to see your family and friends and whatnot.
Right.
But I mean, I met a lot of people and saw a lot of cool stuff and I enjoyed it. I don't regret it at all, but I don't know that I'd get back on that train again.
It's a tough road. I know, I can only imagine. I mean, shoot, just doing the cars for one, but some of the hours that you guys, will work on hail cars and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you're on the road like that. You might as well work 14-hour days, 15-hour days. You might as well.
I know 14, 16-hour days, man. That's tough work, man. I mean, it's not just sitting there. I mean, you are literally concentrating for, a minimum of 8 hours, times 2. Maybe just 10 minutes for lunch while you're pushing or whatever, but yeah, these guys are intense, man. They're there to make money. David Haxton made a comment, when Jeff repairs a car, it's lights out. And you'd given me one that I put into the introduction, before and after, great quality work. So, you definitely, here's the way I say, this is where I'm getting at. I've been with a lot of guys. I've trained a lot of guys. I've been doing dent repair for 30 years. You've been doing it for 20 years. Would you say that it's definitely the key points and things that you learn in the beginning, and then your hunger for the skill of getting to be the best that you possibly can be is what's going to define you later on, when you have those years under your belt, to how good or how quality of a technician that you are. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got to take pride in what you're doing for sure.
Right.
I mean, way back in the day, I can't remember who it was. I was thinking about it. I wish I could, but I was a couple years in and a dent guy on the hail trail told me, he's like, Just make sure that nobody ever fixes this car again and says, look what this guy did. Look at this repair, and I've strived for that.
That's something, he was leading you down the right path.
So yeah. And I train a few guys here and there, and I tell them the same thing. I'm like, it's up to you what you want to do and how you want to repair the car, but you take pride in it and you can do it right. Takes a little longer sometimes, yeah. You can cut corners and get away with it, but take pride in it and do it right.
Hey, a question too, man. There's all this new technology, and technology meaning glues, the types of glues, for different humidity, different temperatures, how fast they snap, how glass-like they are, how rubbery they are, when they do finally cure, how long you leave those specific ones on. There's just a vast array, which comes around practice, time behind the tool, or the type of glue that you're using. You're like, I'm going to figure this one out, or I'm going to figure this one out. And the temperature that's outside at the moment, all these different things that have come into the mix, let's say in the last even 10 years, is just
incredible,
huge. It's leaps and bounds, along with tools like Stanliner and different tools where it's a different concept for pushing or rolling and things like this that have really been brought to the market. Sal Contreras, that's my boy, that's my buddy there. He was definitely here in California. That's the reason why I always mention him and bring him up. He was one of the originators of the rolling and bringing stuff up with the tools, not using a push, but more of a direct broad push with more soft tips and, or blunt tips, things like that. There's all this stuff that's coming to the market, and people aren't holding back like they were 10 years and before, on just kind of explaining or letting other people know. Would you say that the new technicians have an advantage over us guys, from where they're starting out?
With the tools and the experience that we have now, the guys showing, teaching, and like you said, the tools, it's amazing. I mean, it's incredible. Of course they do. I've seen 2-3 year techs doing, it took me 7-8 years to do.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's the truth, But as far as you're an avid fisherman, it's obvious. Most of the pictures that you sent me for your intro were these beautiful, pike and man, that carp that you had caught, that thing was huge. How big was that?
Well, we put it on a 50-pound or 40-pound scale, and it read error. So we're not sure.
Way. That thing was huge.
Snagged it in the tail with a jig head.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
That was out at Chad Homelar's place, actually.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. That's a big. Where was that again?
At Chad Homelar's pond out at his place.
Really?
In Iowa. Yeah.
So it's a private pond, and that guy's got gigantic. I wouldn't want to swim in that bad boy, dude. I'd be afraid I'd lose.
There's a bunch of houses around it. Yeah. No, there's some big carp in there.
Jeez, that thing was huge, man. Yeah, I'd be good, man. I'd be all, dude, to the fish fed, because I ain't getting in that water, dude. Okay. Let me see here. This gentleman here. Don't forget all the tabs and GPR tools. Yeah, it's exactly it. It's all about those new tools and all the stuff that they have nowadays.
The glue pulling.
You still got to know how to use them. The glue pulling is one of the biggest game changers for so many people like myself, where instead of using, back 20-25 years ago, mainly glue pulling, because the epoxies or the glues that we'd use, Worth and the Worth kits and the stuff that they had out and everything, it was just for pulling the main body of the dent out, the meat, and then the potatoes or the fine aspects of it, you had to get a tool on it. You had to be able to do it. And I remember that first time when I started a dent with glue and finished it with glue that had a nice sharp dig in it, and the amount of pulls and learning what worked and how to open it back up and how to pull it and change the inner, workings of it before that pull finally worked. And, it's like an aha moment. But then when you have all these new tabs and the glue is relentless. I mean, let me give Cam Otto some props here. That glue, when you're pulling big damage and you really follow the guidelines of heat, the right temperature, just perfect. You prep everything. You make sure that everything's clean. You put your tabs on right, and you do straight pulls from where you want, even with a 4-post, 15-ton puller, these big old, hoists that are on the edge of a frame rack machine. Unbelievable pulls. I mean, you'll pull the damn panel off the car, if you're not careful. So that stuff was never around until just 2 years ago. They started introducing it, and I think everybody kind of, oh yeah, here's the next big thing. And then they proved it with that one video where he shows him lifting that front end of the car. Have you seen that?
The car? Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
It's all right. I need to buy that kit. That right there sold me, But
I've always been real stubborn with tools and stuff. I'm like, I've been fixing dents with these tools for all these years, right. And some people have had to actually buy me this stuff and then make me pay them back for it. Right. It shows up at the shop, and I used Walmart glue until this year. And then I got a stick of Cam Auto in my gun, and I'm like, yeah, okay, let me buy a bunch of bags of that. So yeah, Cam Auto is pretty truth.
It's like when I, the couple times, the things that have made me grow, and tell me if I'm wrong, or if it applies to you, the things that have made me grow in my skill set tremendously are going and kind of being out of your comfort zone, going and to like a gig. For instance, there was a gig, I won't mention too much, but we thought we were all going to be on TV, and a bunch of other guys were called to as well. And we all got there, and there was 2 main hail trucks to work on, and watching some people like Carl Stuckey, my brain's not working with me here this morning, but John Renstrom. That guy is an animal, dude. Watching him and going, there's no way that this beat, stretched, just horrible roof is going to be anything but a nightmare on black and everything else. And then learning some of the techniques and seeing him putting to work and then seeing the finished product, it was just, I was mind blown. It was like, dude, I have got to step up my game even more so than I already have. So would you say that working
it's crazy some of the damage that can get fixed,
have made you a better technician?
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. I mean, you learn from 20-year techs, you learn from 3-year techs. It's crazy. Right. You can see a certain technique on a certain situation and apply it. It's awesome.
Even David Haxton says,
and I work with a lot of really good techs.
That's the truth. That dude is a beast. He is a beast when it comes to cars. Oh. It's like we get there and he's like, "Oh, I'll do the roof." And it's like, "Please, dude, you take the roof, man." I can't even believe he's doing it. And he's just super content, just sitting over there. He's got his rod, man. He's pushing away, I hear that you're the same way, man. You just you get on something and you complete it and you finish it up and you get on to the next job.
Can't be scared of it and can't be overwhelmed. Some of these roofs, you can't be overwhelmed.
Right.
I see guys, they ruin it for themselves right away because they just look at it. Oh my God, I'm never going to do this.
Well, it's intimidating, dude.
You're hurting yourself. You can't fix 300.
There's no way I'm doing that, but you guys do it. You guys sit down and tackle these things, man. And it's mind blowing. It really is.
You can't fix 300 dents at once. So you just tackle one at a time.
That's right. One at a time. That's the same thing I tell people. So we got Kevin Bird made a comment here. Let's see what he has to say. And yes, John Renstrom, the man, the myth, the legend, from what I hear, will be at MTE. So that will be a good one. And obviously Kevin Bird's going to be there. He's buying everybody free beers and dinner. Anyways, so no, I'm joking. I had to throw that in there. I had to twist that knife. So, hey, buddy, is there anything that you would add to the industry that you see it's lacking, or any type of thing that kind of bugs you? It just kind of drives you nuts, like fingernails on a chalkboard that, you would say needs to be changed or is bad, let's say with brokers or with insurance companies or whatever. What do you think?
10 years ago, I'd have a lot to say, but things are coming a long ways in a good way. But I'd still, I'd have to say those guys that are setting up in tents and giving away deductibles and drilling holes in cars, and that drives me absolutely crazy.
Right.
I just can't. I hate it. I mean, other than that, I mean, you see, social media now. So many people are becoming friends and working together, and you never used to see that.
Right.
So that's a wonderful thing.
Didn't.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
it was hard for me, man. It was hard for me too. I mean, I have to admit, it still is to this day. Opening up, especially if I know that somebody's in, my area, man. It's like, no, it's mine. No, that's mine. Cause I've been like that since day one. I've been super highly competitive. Still am. I mean, I have to catch myself sometimes and just kind of, Ian, dude, don't be such a jerk. It's like, it's tough, dude. It's tough for me because that's way that we always were. It was, no, don't show that person anything because they're going to come back and use it on you or whatever. And for the ones that have, still do, touche. We're all busy, man. We're all
a lot more. There's a lot more camaraderie now.
Yes.
So guys will help guys out and put guys to work, and it's good.
Hey, Randy was saying he agrees, that our industry hasn't, certainly changed. Our industry has changed actually. I think he might have typoed. I'll just keep it at that. But no, constantly growing, constantly things changing. It's like, man, what's going to be the next big thing? Because in all honesty, this industry is in its infancy still. They're really, when you look at body work, you look at, different skill sets, different trades, different things that, people have done for hundreds of years. Paintless dent repair hasn't been being performed for hundreds of years. And it's still on the cusp. And I think we've still got some things to look forward to, huge things to look forward to.
It makes you sit back and wonder how far can this go? I mean, the stuff that's getting repaired every year, more and more stuff, big, nasty, crazy stuff. I mean, it's
crazy, dude.
It's cool.
Yeah, I've spent plenty of days, hours on cars, where it's like, dude, this thing's beat me. But I posted it on social media and everybody has already seen the before and I cannot fail, But by the time you're done,
I always like to tell guys, you won't fix it if you don't try it 100%. They look at stuff that ain't going to fix. If you don't try it, you might not, but if you do, there you go. You just learned something.
Here's a great comment. I wish I knew who wrote this here, but it says, PDR has disrupted the auto body industry and what's next, and for the longest time, the saying was, no, they don't have to worry about, they fix the large stuff that we can't fix. And we fix the stuff that's smaller, and there's plenty of business for everybody. But then now the disruption of, what are they making? How much do these guys make doing paintless dent repair? And this is what, I went to, UTI, I went to all these different, technical schools, got trained in all this and ICAR certified and this and that. And compared, and you know what? It's unfortunate because it stayed stagnant like that. I feel because of the insurance companies, man. And they've ground them into the ground. They've just completely twisted them and done these guys so wrong that now, it's starting to come to fruition because paintless dent repair is fixing absolute crushes or the pull to paint. The fact that now they don't have to heat up the panel or use, tremendous heat to where now they have to protective coat the undersides or, pull the interiors out to do it. They don't even have to pull the interior parts on some of these suckers, man. They're glue pulling them themselves and then putting them off to paint after they metal finish them and stuff. That's game changer.
Huge.
Yeah, it's huge. Yep. So I think we got Frank Sell in the house. What's up?
Hey, Frank. I worked with him years ago.
Getting it done.
I worked with him. I don't know how long ago.
Yeah.
I like him. Yeah. I don't even remember where. I wonder if he remembers where. It was years ago.
As illustrious, as luscious as it looks on camera. Is it? I mean, is it all that?
I haven't seen him in over a decade, so I couldn't tell you. He didn't have a crazy beard then.
Oh,
I don't know if he could grow a beard then.
Here's a good question. What does a master auto body tech make compared to a PDR tech? And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and take that down off the screen, and we're just going to act like that question never came out. And that's how much. It's ridiculous. And that's why the auto body industry needs to get with, these insurance companies, because it's all too often that I hear another guy has come from the auto body industry into the PDR industry. Another guy has left, the auto body, or they don't even have trade schools for them anymore. They don't have anything for them because it's that much of a difference. So without getting into numbers, it's so much different. Unfortunately, it's so much different in the means of the auto body tech, skilled technicians. They've changed them into, there is no metal finishing. It's pretty much repair or replace panels, period, point blank. And that's not what I want to be considered, much less if you've gone to school and you're working for somebody and you're a 10-year journeyman or 20-year journeyman bodyman, make so much less than somebody that can be 3 years trained in a PDR industry and just killing it, so yeah, that's my answer to that. I'm not even gonna put numbers to it. What do you think about that, buddy?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you don't see it as much anymore. I used to see some guys rebuild body lines, body techs, and just do some crazy metal work. And
right,
you just don't see it anymore. You
do not see
it. Cut it off, unbolt it, replace it,
right,
move on.
Here Ryan Shutt's in the house. We've got guys that are in this audience that are from one end of the United States to the other. He's up where it's real nice and cold too. I know that for a fact, but it's crazy. And I know it's worldwide that this whole thing that we're talking about here, as far as the auto body techs compared to the paintless dent repair techs, I would say maybe even in the future, and this is just a wild guess. Don't catch me off here, but this is a wild guess that maybe possibly, these guys are going to be kind of an all-in-one, eventually, to where they will be paintless dent repair master technicians, and that's what their certification will be. And they will also know how to do general work, but there's only going to be guys that are literally just prepping the panel for the painter. And then there's going to be these master metalmen, and it's going to be brought back, but it's going to be so much different than the old school grinder and flinging mud like it was.
I've already seen a lot of body guys in the last few years seeing what we do in their shop. And then they'll go buy a cheap little light, and they're not fixing the stuff, but they're getting it flat, right, without putting studs on it. And
that's right.
And it's pretty cool to see, and like you said, those guys they keep playing with it.
Whether it's jobber or whether it's commission, or whether they're what's the word for it? How they get paid on what the sheet's written for, rather than the actual hours they put into it. That makes a big difference too, because they're speeding up. They're able to make more money. Let's see here. The future of the industry is PDR first body shops. I totally agree. I totally agree. And that is a, eco-friendly, green friendly, you can call it whatever. But if you are completely considering PDR first, and then the last thing, it's like, we try, and then the last little thing is it has to be sprayed. It absolutely has to be sprayed. There's no way to get around it. I totally agree. What do you think, Jeff?
Oh yeah. Save the panels, and like you said, it's eco-friendly, it's time-friendly, it's saving the factory paint. It's going that way for sure.
Yes, it is. So, I have to say here, whenever whenever I get on a subject like this, you were worried, guys and gals. He was worried. He wanted, or I wouldn't say worried. Okay, let me rephrase myself. But he was concerned with what the topic or the line of conversation was going to be on the Dentologist Live, and that's the thing. I shoot from the hip. I bring it, and what I bring is conversation that two guys that are in the same industry are having. And I love to share it, man. I love to see it. I love to see when a good subject like this comes up, because it is huge.
You talk the industry. You talk in the industry. You talk the industry. I like to talk it.
Oh man, heck yeah. We got James Bernard here. We got the two old dogs that new techs are advancing so much. Yep, that's true, man. It's because a lot of us have opened up and shown.
I've seen 1 year techs blow my mind.
Dude,
blow my
mind.
Know.
I know it is mind blowing where they're at compared to what it used to take for us to get to where they're at in 1 year. It is a world of difference for sure.
Like the old glue tabs are about that big around, black.
Oh man,
that's always
the Atlas tabs. The Atlas
tabs? First ones. Yeah.
Okay.
I still got some. I've used them once in a while, but they're just too big. They're good for certain certain applications, but
I still have the old Worth tabs.
The red ones?
I'll put those on there and I'll try certain glues with it. But what works best with those is that gooey Target, Walmart glue, and you get it right before it's about to cure completely, and give a thing because you're using half a stick of glue on one tab, and you put that, so it's dripping down the panel and everything, but every once in a while, I'll break them out, but they're inferior. They're inferior to what is out there right now. I like the ice tabs, those clear ice tabs, man. Put 3 or 4 different tabs on with the same glue, the same timing, the same cure, everything. And you put one ice tab on it, and it's like, whoa, dude. I mean, it'll pull the panel off the car. Those
are crazy.
Yes.
I mean, you can take a huge rail hit and start with that little tiny dead center tab, and it sticks and it moves, and that's what I use now. It's those Cam Auto. I mean, that's an awesome combination.
I knew Kevin would know the Worth tabs. I knew it. I knew this.
The red ones,
the little round red, and they had a dome to them. It was like they had
the line
CD, and Worth was selling the snot out of these suckers. And then when they came out about 5 years later, I remember a good friend of mine, Chris Jacob. He actually did a spiel at Dent Pro. I think my first year, he did a spiel on telling all the techs about the Worth kit, glue pulling and stuff, and how he thought it was going to go places and everything else. But he was showing dents, and we were like, dude, I mean, just big, huge knots to where it's like, man, I know there's a brace behind there. How did you get that? Oh, I glue pulled the majority, finished it up with tools. What did you use? And he had the Worth, he had the cantilever, he had the slide hammer, and he had all those Worth tabs, but those little red ones that were to take out the centers of the sharp dents and everything with the like yellow glue that they used to have. And freeze spray. Let me see. Do I have any of that? I have some of that, I think, around here. Anyways,
I still got the old
freeze spray.
I still got my Worth mini lifter.
You do?
I haven't used it in a few years since I bought the lift right, but that thing's so nice. But I still got the original heavy, weighs 50 pounds. It feels like red-handled Worth mini lifter.
You know what? Let's give a round of applause to this Facebook user, because you know what? He's very, very educated. I think that whatever he says, no, I'm joking, dude. His guy here, he goes, Ian is one of the greatest voices in the industry. Honey, you're not supposed to get on to the show and write this kind of stuff. I don't know who that is, honestly, but I'm just making fun. Thank you for that compliment. I really do appreciate that. That means a lot. But Jeff is the center of attention here this morning. And I know I've got a couple of people that have just arrived for their dents to be taken out here at my shop in Napa. So, Jeff, is there anything you want to add? Maybe we didn't touch on or anything like that, man. The mic is yours.
We covered quite a bit of stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty good stuff.
Dude.
This tool giveaway thing's pretty awesome.
I really appreciate you letting me, blow steam here this morning. I appreciate everything that you've said because, I value your being of the industry and understanding of dents and complex dents and what it takes to be a paintless dent repair person and the dedication every day that you need to put in to do that. A lot of that gets overseen with all the frill and frowl, but I'll tell you what, I really do appreciate you coming on the show here today. One of the best interviews I think I've given so far, Jeff. I just have to tell you that, man. So everyone, Jeff Krumwiede, did I say it right?
Krumwiede. Yep. Krumwiede.
The weedy schweedy or whittle finiddle snizzle, whatever the heck you're going to call it. This guy can do dents, and I'm happy to have him on the show here today. So Jeff, make it a great day. You have a wonderful day.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you later, buddy.
All right.
Great topics. Great person. I love having people like this on my show and, conversating with them, just like, we'd talk in a meeting on the side somewhere, having a burger and fries, and that's what it's all about is just having a great conversation, talking about what we love so much. And that's paintless dent repair. Everyone out there in the audience, remember, be good to yourself and be good to others. And, everything's going to work out even in today's times. I'm Ian Cordle. I'm the dentologist. And again, I'd like to mention our sponsors, Dent Man Tools. Get out there, be a man, and get some Dent Man tools. And Mobile Tech Shade, simply the best rain or shine umbrella suction cup extendable paracord money system. So gentlemen, have a wonderful day. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful day. And I will see you next week on the Dentologist Live. Bye-bye.